Alright, so before I get into the actual review of tonight's episode of Arrow, let me say this, first and foremost. I think I might as well just announce this now. I think I'm going to announce this now. I am pretty much going to drop my episode reviews for Sleepy Hollow and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They're not really, not a lot of people are buzzing about them, and it's kind of hard, and it's difficult enough for me to do how many episode reviews that I'm doing, like with Ninja Turtles, The Flash, Arrow, all of those. So it's kind of really difficult for me to keep up with everything, and it was a hard decision. But the Sleepy Hollow episode reviews and the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. reviews weren't really giving me a lot of weren't giving me a lot to want to keep me going. That was really it. Was that there wasn't enough that it wasn't really getting a good turnout, those reviews. So I was like, okay, I've got too many reviews as it is. Time to trim the fat, and the weak link's got to go. However, having said that, though, I will be doing season finale reviews of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Sleepy Hollow. It's not that I don't like the shows. It's just that I've got enough episode reviews to do as it is. And they're not, and again, like I said, they're not really ranking. They're not real. Most people don't really notice the Sleepy Hollow and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. reviews, so I'm kind of just dropping those. But everything else, like The Flash, Arrow, and the Ninja Turtles, Legend of Korra, Steven Universe, those reviews will still be going. Those episode reviews will still be going. But yeah, other than that, oh yeah, and the Star Wars Rebels reviews, yeah, those will still be going. In fact, I seriously need to get that review out soon. Anyway, so having said that, let's go into the actual episode review of the Season 3, Episode 6, Guilty! Now, this episode pretty much starts out with Jor-El coming before the Council of Krypton to arrest General Zod, wait, I'm thinking of another DC franchise. Never mind. Anyway. Oh, you knew that joke was funny. Don't spite me. Anyway. So, the episode pretty much starts out with, Oliver and his team out there ready to bust a group of drug dealers. Meanwhile, Roy's still kind of in his head, oh my god, did I really kill Sarah? Was I the one who killed Sarah? And I'm kind of wondering myself, okay, this might be very interesting to see how this all goes. And they're at this place to do a drug bust, but someone else got there first and killed them all Predator style. Literally, they're hanging from the with their feet up. And I find it, I thought to myself, that was the first thing I saw. I was like, huh, did a Predator do this? Yeah, that was my thought. And I think I just inspired some people to make Arrow vs. Predator trailers. Oh, boy. Anyway, so, yeah, they find one little lead called Guilty, and Oliver decides to go out to do some, investigations. Whereas Roy, he's talking to Felicity and saying that, look, maybe I killed Sarah, and maybe there was some Yurikuru still in my system, and maybe that drove me, that made me unstable. So, when that happens, Felicity more or less does a blood test for him. Meanwhile, Ted and Laurel after a night of training, have decided to go out for dinner. Meanwhile, Oliver comes into Ted Grant's gym, finds a body strung up, Predator style once again, and Ted walks in at the same time. And of course, Oliver goes flips his lid, and he's like, "You have failed this city," and is about to kill him. And Laurel stops him. The police arrive, and they're questioning Ted. And Laurel's like, look, he didn't do this. I was with him for the night. This was obviously a setup or something like that. Of course, Oliver's not believing him. And it's later discovered, while Oliver does some more digging after another murder of a would-be magician, he then discovers that, this was at an old hideout of Ted's, and he was once a vigilante long before Oliver was. We discover that he was the first vigilante in Starling City, and didn't really get a lot of press review, because he stayed in the Glades, and nobody really cared about that. So, yeah, Ted had Ted was a vigilante, but he never killed anyone. He never killed one in his life. But there is some suspicion that Ted Grant murdered someone 6 years ago. But he was never convicted for it. Meanwhile, Felicity and Roy do the test, but Felicity does some tests here and there, and is like, okay, maybe you did kill because the way the arrows were thrown into her body, it had to be by hand. So I'm thinking, wow, and all this stuff is kind of very incriminating. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, yeah, one of two things happened: either he didn't do it, or something else. Or, someone else did it to make it look like Roy. I don't know, but yeah. We also have flashbacks to a mission of, Katana's husband and Oliver, hunting down this guy who has a message for China Wei, for China White. Oliver chases him down. He's killed by accident during the chase, and the message is missing, and Oliver can't seem to remember it. This then leads to Katana herself helping Oliver to help do like some kind of meditation that reactivates his memory, and the two of them go out to find this little note of someone said contact. I can't even remember the guy's name, but it's a message to contact someone. Apparently, maybe it's one of like a dealer or something like that for China White. And for some reason, I still don't know why Katana hates him. I don't understand why the unnecessary hate for Oliver Queen. Also, another thing I want to bring up: the first time, Oliver finds out about Ted's past vigilante life, and he's like, "You were a killer," and I kind of am thinking to myself, okay, why is it okay to kill? Why is it not okay for him to kill bad guys? When it's okay, that's what you did in the entire first season. You did that the entire first season. I kind of want that. Like, I was kind of hoping Ted would be like, "And what were you when you first came? When you first came here? As I recall, you were putting arrows in everybody. You recently stopped killing." Yeah, they don't even do the. They don't. Apparently, it's double standard, and that's a big word. That's the word of the day in this episode: double standards. Because when Roy reveals that maybe the Mirakuru did affect his mind, and he quote unquote killed Sarah, Oliver's like, no, we're not gonna hurt him because he's one of us, and the Mirakuru really just jacked up his brain, and Laurel is just pissed off and she can't believe it, and meanwhile, Oliver and Ted manage to find the guy who's been chasing them. It was apparently Ted's former partner, who after he left the vigilante business, his partner was captured by a street gang and tortured for months, leaving him mentally unstable, and now he wants his revenge on Ted. So he kidnaps Ted and Laurel and makes them drive out to the middle of the city. Luckily, Oliver, Diggle, and even Roy come in. They stop him, and Oliver, we actually get a name drop of the word arsenal, and I was like, arsenal! Oh, that's so cool. Anyway, so after that, Ted gets is cleared of all the charges, and Oliver's talking to Roy like, hey, Arsenal, that's going to be a good name for you. I think we might want to run with that. But of course, Roy is like, look, I killed somebody. I can't deal with that. And then Oliver uses the same technique Katana used on him, the whole meditation thing, and it's revealed that it was just his memories getting mixed up. It was his memories all getting mixed up, and he remembers the time when he was doped up on Mirakuru and murdered a cop. So he did while he didn't murder Sarah, he did, however, kill that officer, and no one ever told him. No one told him that he murdered someone, and no one convicted him. So now he's like, okay, fuck all of you, I need to be alone. Yeah. So this is a really good episode. Again, I just like double standards were everywhere in this episode. I swear, double standards were everywhere. And at the end of the episode, we got Cupid. I was like, oh, cool, lesser known Green Arrow villain, sweet. So yeah, Cupid's going to be in the next episode. I'm wondering how big of a role she's going to be for the rest of the series. I hope she's not. I really hope Cupid is not like a one and done episode. I really hope that's not the case. Please don't let that be the case. Anyway, so yeah, all in all, good episode. I just really, that double standard right there was just bothering me. Anyway, you guys tell me, what did you guys think of this episode? Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? And once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I'm out.